Good evening, people. This is Mick Ruby from Mufc Realist TV, and this is the Ruby's Corner. You can see that I'm waiting for my neighbor. You can see this like a picture frame, like Erik ten Hag came in this season with a blank piece of canvas. He basically assessed the whole squad. Look what sticked and didn't stick. He slapped a little bit of Fred on that canvas. It's a little bit of McTominay, a little bit of a Casemiro, De Gea. At the end of the day, he just had to rub it off, and it's been 1 year, one season with the ten Hag, going with the wind of change. And, it's coming to the transfer summer window when he's going to buy new acrylic paint. But you know what? Speaking about next door neighbor, for 12 months since I started this channel, I've been running in parallel with my brilliant neighbor that's about to fill that other right side canvas. Her name is Alice Abrams. Alice Talks Football. Guys, please, before we continue, whatever you're drinking, raise your glass because this is going to be fun. We're going to have Alice on in a few seconds. And please don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe, as we are 200 souls away from 15K. So, guys, enjoy. See you in 15 seconds program.
Now, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world
on Mufc Realist TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas, let's get ready to rumble!
Good evening, people, and welcome to the studio. Welcome, Alice Abrams from Alice Talk Football. How are you doing, Alice? First time we ever speak. How are you?
I'm good, thank you very much. I love the intro. I was loving that the whole time.
Let me know. I can do one for you anytime. That's what neighbors are for, aren't they? Good neighbors. I wish I could knock down and say, offer you a glass of wine or something, but here you go. Pass on the coffee to you, man.
Let's pick up. There
we need a coffee. How's your day, by the way? Oh, yeah. How's the day? How's your life? How's everything in the midst of the spin of the takeover, the transfer news, the whole jazz?
I mean, it's better today because I feel like Onana's moving. I feel like the bid's gone in, the terms are accepted. I feel like that's going to happen. I feel like the Hojlund bid's going to come soon, and United are doing stuff.
Yeah. Navid is saying, Mick versus Alice, let's get ready to rumble. It's not a boxing match. She was punched me dead with the left arm. I think so too. 100%. We're having a lot of fun. Let's see, guys. I want to shout out to every one of you. But anyway, big up sis Oliver. Big up Alice as well. So let's get cracking. Alice, you know what? Good evening, Chris Breeze and the mods. I'm going to move on, right? Because we have a lot of other football content. A lot of people are talking, and we're going to talk about the transfer market. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine. Let's go.
Okay. Let's take a little small commercial break from Erik ten Hag.
I need you to promise me that you'll be on your best behavior.
I promised other people that I'd be on my worst behavior. And I gave my word, so.
Don't make me fire you.
You can't fire me. You're acting manager, not office manager, so you have no firing powers.
Don't make me pre-fire you.
You wouldn't dare.
Watch this. You're pre-fired. And when I'm promoted, you'll be full fired.
If you get promoted, and if you haven't fallen in love with me by then.
What?
Alice, if you're ten Hag's shoes right now, what would you do with Captain Harriet?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that was a real conversation between Harry Maguire.
No, that's just created me. That's taken from The Office, the American Office. It's just created me creating a masterpiece. But seriously, a serious question, because that is something that's looming. Reports coming out that he refuses to. He doesn't want to leave. He sits fat and happy on a big contract.
I mean, look, will he be a better player with Onana behind him? Potentially, because he's slow.
With the banana? Did you say banana or Nana?
Onana, the goalkeeper.
Oh, yeah. Would it be better with the banana behind it? Sorry, man.
God, no. But potentially. But the way I just look at it is, I'm like, right, Luke Shaw plays over you, Lindelof plays over you, Varane plays over you, and Martinez plays over you. Your fifth choice, you want to play for England in the Euros. To be fair, Southgate will pick him no matter what. Let's be honest. But you know, if you're at United, you're just going to be under constant scrutiny. He doesn't do well with that scrutiny. When he does come out and he does do an interview or he speaks out, or there was a report saying someone close to Maguire felt that if he wasn't playing with Varane and if he wasn't playing with De Gea, and if he was playing with Ederson and Diaz instead, he wouldn't have flopped or something like that. Like, and then he goes.
Or that ESPN reporter, what was his name? Rob Dawson. No, it's not Rob Dawson. The other one.
Mark Ogden.
Oggy. He was the one that reported, like, you know, oh yeah, he doesn't like this. You know, his agent is dangerous, calling up, like, you know, what was his name? Troy Deeney. It's like, well, you're talking shit about my player.
Yeah,
like,
and then there was that weird thing he did when we had our worst ever season under Ragnick, and he went in an interview, well, if I'd have been as bad as people were saying, I wouldn't have started week in, week out. The manager always chooses me to start. And I'm thinking, that's not, or even like, it's the way he deals with it as well. I don't think he's got the...
delusional in a way. Like the last interview he held was to say, I don't need to prove myself, something like that, right?
Yeah.
It's like, are you playing for England FC or are you playing for Manchester United, the club? Like, you know, so desperately, like, you know, I want to see him out, because obviously I'm not here to put negativity. I've never been a player FC kind of. I always look at Manchester United as a team. So I look what's best for the team. So you can clearly see that he's not favored by Tenhag. You know, he got picked. He got like 11 starts in this past season.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, no matter. I get him paid like whatever I'm getting paid. 250, is it? Something like that?
I think it's because we're in the Champions League, it's just going to go up. And I think that's probably what makes it harder to sell him, because he's not going to get even half that.
I heard something that he even gets paid when he sits on the bench. That's part of his contract.
Yeah. It's just... He's going to get 250k a week, no matter if he had one appearance or 30. And that's why, you know, if he's got the mentality, because, you know, he's captain. This is what I say. Harry Maguire was our captain for 3 years. If he's got a captain's mentality, he goes, I'm not playing. I want to prove myself. I'm going to go to a club that's going to play me week in, week out and be their best player. That's captain's mentality. Yeah. You know,
it's a Chubby Brown joke, Alice. That's it. It's just Alien Tenor with another super chat. Big up. It's a Chubby Brown joke, Alice. I'm just going to continue because we got some super chats. Jason, Man United forever. Spear, big up for your super chat. Alice Mick, what a brilliant watch. I hope so. I really hope so. It's a little bit of a chill. And obviously, Alien Tenor again coming saying Maguire is the worst ever Prem signing. But listen, we're gonna that leads into the next question. Like, everyone knows that you can't defend Harry. Like, he's not a Manchester United player. He needs to go. But it leads to the next question, because today the report's coming out that we are getting very close to Hojlund. All right? We're dealing with Atalanta. Now, Alice, I'm going to throw it back to you. Do you know who that sporting manager is over there in Atalanta by any chance?
It's the Maguire guy, isn't it?
Yeah, he was at Leicester. So basically quit his job at Leicester, went to Atalanta. Manchester United came knocking on the door. Hey, how about, oh shit, you, Congerton, what's his name? Lee Congerton, something like that. And he goes, oh, Manchester United here. How about you pay me 80 million euro? Hey, Mickey Blue Eyes, I see you, huh? Hey, you're not getting away from me. Manchester United has a new director of negotiations called Matt Hargreaves. If you know, he's from Adidas. Cut through guy. He's kind of equivalent to a Marina that was at Chelsea, like very astute negotiator. So we've seen fruits of that. Like, we didn't overpay for Mason Mount. We said, no, we're not going to go overpay. At the end of the day, Chelsea wanted like 70, 80 million old pounds. We ended up meeting in the middle, like 55 plus 5. That's all right, right? Yeah, it's cool. But coming back to Hojlund, who do you think they are? Like, you know, hang on, you're not a proven player yet. You know, you spend 1 year in Graz in Austria, then you spend almost not even a full season playing at Atalanta. Boy has talent. Trust me, the boy has talent.
Yeah, 100%.
Jesus, he's a clone, almost a carbon copy clone of, like, he's almost a twin brother of Haaland, right? But not really there. If he comes in, he will probably bag 15 goals, but and then see that trajectory, 30 goals. He's got that talent, and they see this potential, like, oh, maybe we can take on the talent. But in the real market, you don't sell on the unproven entity, right? Now, Alice, if you were Ten Hag, if you had this striker's choice, would young Danish dynamite be your favorite in terms of Hojlund?
It depends really on the price, because I think it's all about budget. Onana, I'm going to say, he's going to be done in the coming days. Mount is done. So it is obviously striker next. And I still think we need another midfielder just to help with kind of retention control and cover Casemiro. So a lot of it depends on the budget, because I like Rasmus Hojlund. I think he's a good player. It really annoys me when people go, Alice, he got 9 goals. It's more than his 9 Serie A goals. It's about the traits that he has, the traits he possesses at such a young age, his ability to work hard off the ball, the way that I was saying in my stream earlier, like Benny McCarthy seemed to have done a really good job with the attackers, him and Hojlund and tenhag. I think Hojlund will be a fantastic signing, but he's like, you know, when City signed Julian Alvarez and then they have Haaland, it's like the ideal scenario is you have Kane and Hojlund, because you have Kane to lead the line for 2-3 years. He's your 20-30 goal striker while Hojlund develops and comes through.
Develops, that was the original thought. That was the original plan, to get 2 strikers, one understudy and one more experienced. But, you know, when you think about Erik ten Hag, he's never gone for the superstars. Like, you know, he brought back Sebastian Haller, made him to a world-class striker. He likes to play youth. That's the thing. So, I mean, what's to say that, you know, we can have rotation or we can have firepower? God knows what's going to happen. Like, you know, we know that Daniel Levy will not budge at all. Like, he's an idiot, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
One thing that we know about Levy, he's all about finance. He's an Ed Woodward 2.0, like on a turbo machine speed. You know, you put him in an espresso machine, you get a double espresso. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You don't
But at the end of the day, what we do is, this is my suggestion. I don't know if you agree with me. Just put it in the back pocket, put it in the bid, say, here you go, he's 75. We saw that Bayern Munich is also after. They put in the 75 and Levy says, nah, stick it where the sun don't shine, mate. So let's see at the end of the season. I think if we're getting a Harry Kane, that will be at the back end of the season, because barring that, we need to have the takeover coming in soon, clear the FFP, the debts and everything. And so it makes sense that they're going for the younger striker right now, because we need a striker, to be honest.
Yeah. My main option was weirdly Gonzalo Ramos of Benfica, because he's about 70 million and Hojlund is getting quoted at ridiculous prices, but I think it would be settled for 50 million. Gonzalo Ramos is 20 million more, and I've watched a little bit of Benfica this season just because I think they've been a really nice watch. I seem to watch. They've got some real good talents, but Gonzalo Ramos, you know, there was something about him. Just I feel like he's got that
Portuguese, right? Or Portuguese.
Yeah, the Portuguese guy. He scored like 4 goals in that World Cup game when he replaced Ronaldo. Is that guy? But we've obviously linked to him before that. But he has something about him. I can't explain it, but he will be that physical presence in the box when you need him. He's a box striker. He can score those scrappy goals, but also he presses off the ball. I just think I can't explain it, but like I can't think of the tactical word for it, but he's someone that would link really well with Antony and Rashford. He's someone, you know how Martial, who's a bit hit and miss, but him and Rashford have a good link up. He's one of those strikers I think comes in and he could connect the team together. I think he's one of those strikers that makes the players around him play better. That's what I see him as.
But I find it weird that Benfica has lowered down the price, because Rui Costa that sits there, he's well known for not you know, budging. If he says 120, it's 120. Like, you know, nobody pay. He's a astute negotiator. Why is he lowering down the price then? Does he want to sort of get rid of him? In a way, I like us to do more of not the clear and obvious shirt seller, right? I want to be surprised this window, because if you look at Ten Hag when he was working with Overmars at Ajax, they used to get those, like, you know, grassroots players, like, you know, like if you look at Martinez, he came from the grassroots, he came from South America, right? Who else? Dos Santos, Anthony, all those players. So I wouldn't be surprised that, you know, I did a show yesterday when we looked at the class of 23, basically to say, like, don't forget we have amazing youth. You get a few players in and you sort of embed the youth into different positions, right? To do what we did a class number 92 as well, right? So this is the way I see it. I'm just excited this season because you, at the end of the day, you got to sort of recruit what his system fits, right? And was his system. A lot of people didn't get the Mason Mount signing, but when you think about it, he actually fits his system. That's the thing,
what he
right?
wanted, yeah.
That's what he wanted. And I don't know what
Hojlund does as well.
Hojlund does as well. He's a beast. He's a tank. What's your take on a potential, let's say, midfield position? Like, you know, if you were Ten Hag, for instance, like, you know, Alice Ten Abrams Hag, who would you pick? What would be your favorite choice?
My go-to choice would have been Mufc Caicedo, because I thought we'd only be able to sign one midfielder, and I think Mason Mount, Bruno Casemiro is a good midfield, but it's not the kind of midfield you want to go with away to the Etihad or away to Anfield. It's defensively, it's going to leak goals. Potentially, people talk about Luke Shaw playing inverted, coming in as another midfielder. But I think the biggest problem with Mason Mount is he's really good off the ball. His positional sense, his tactical awareness is going to be brilliant, but it's his retention. Him and Bruno, will they be giving the ball away? Will be able to control games? And I think Mufc Caicedo for me would have been the dream midfield signing. Obviously, if we're talking really unrealistic, Frankie de Jong would have been, you know. I even loved, and I'm really annoyed he went to Chelsea in January, Enzo Fernandez.
That killed us, right? Todd Bowley.
Those three players would have been my ideal. Caicedo, de Jong, or Fernandez. One of those three, I think, would have been the real fit for me. I'm a big fan of Barella, but I haven't watched him enough to be able to.
Well, hang on, like, you know, Barella, that's pasta. Then they have Rice, Declan Rice. So that's, you know what I mean. Hey, Barella, pasta, spaghetti. Eh? Stephanie Griffin, big up. Sorry, we have not ignored you in the VR room. It's just so weird, so in deep in conversations. It's the first time I have my frame here, my guest here. Like, you know, this is my Picasso painting here, right? You know. Stephanie Griffin saying we need street fighters hungry to succeed. Anthony Licha and our 10 kids. Yeah, Ten Hag has 10 kids.
Does he actually?
It's just a joke. 10 kids.
I was going to say, surely that's a joke.
Ten Hag, 10 kids. Yeah, it's an internal joke, to be honest. Yeah, they're street fighters, so that's why I want some more of a street fighting type. And somebody that fights for the shirt, because there's been a revelation. Like, you know, we saw Alicia came in, we saw the Brazilian flair, the Argentinian, the Portuguese, the Latin flair.
Yeah, Casemiro, passion.
Yeah.
I think Leach has been my favorite player over the last year.
Been amazing.
Just everything about him is just like what you want. He's brilliant, and then he's got that personality.
Yeah, I'm working actually on a documentary. It's been. I did an interview with his intermediate agent that brought him from the grassroots to the 𝑴𝒊𝒊𝒔𝒕. He worked with Christian Begnerich, who is his main agent. So they work in partnership. So I have a full interview in Spanish that I have to translate, right? So it's been laying down there, like, you know, I just don't have enough time. So I was hoping this transfer window will be a little bit more. So I'm working.
Can you speak Spanish or?
Un poquito. I speak many languages. Miloš Mitić, dobro večer. Hojlund i Ramos sjajan tandem. Yes, Miloš Mitić je super, stvarno super. Miloš Mitić from Serbia says Hojlund in Ramos is a great tandem. That's what he's saying. I speak many languages, to be honest. John Johnson is in the house. Craig, Steph. Yeah, guys, Books is in the house as well. Caicedo is valued 100 million. That's what I wanted to say, because now they're taking the piss, Alice.
It's because of the rice price. They're like, rice is 100 million.
Inflation. Over one night, inflation. That's the thing. Okay. Here's like what Todd Bowley was hoping. Yeah, we got some money now. Yeah,
so Chelsea deserve that, because they managed to get 65 million for Havertz. They wanted 70 million for Mount. So at that rate, Caicedo is 100 million.
Not Havertz. Not having it, not Havertz. Yeah, no, true. But what I'm trying to say that, okay, now they're coming in for Caicedo. Now Brighton say, you got money now, 100 million. This is the inflation price, what we're seeing over one night, Alice. This is amazing.
Particularly in the Premier League.
Million. I mean, Caicedo, come on. Look at the stupid business. They bought him in for £7 million, right? From the grassroots. Could have been us. It could have been. Right. Wasn't it Ragnick that was recommended?
No, this was when Ollie. This was like 2 years ago, and we really needed we really needed a DM. Like we were playing MufcRed every game, and we're like, well, this guy's 5 million for the academy. He could potentially come through. And then they took 30 million out in dividends. We're like, nah, we're not buying anyone. It was that January. I thought, great.
No, but it's not a sexy shirt seller. It's gonna be something.
Yeah,
it's like that's the old school,
You'd
like
rather-
the right. Overrule the manager, because the managers before Erik ten Hag, they didn't have the first choice, second choice. They got the third, and everything was kind of everyone there was. We didn't even have a sporting director, to be honest. Like, and we got one with John Merton, but he's kind of been working with his hands tied behind his back, because everything, if you know, it's got to go in chain of command and approvals. Within the Glazer family, it's just like 5 steps of approvals before it gets signed off, and that's what transfer's been taking so long under the Glazers. Hopefully, with the new ownership, we get a new clear house, clear the deck.
Yeah.
Anything above from Ten Hag, like, because Ten Hag has been brilliant in sort of hiring his video assistants and analytics and all that
Benny
stuff.
McCarthy.
Benny McCarthy. Oh yeah, you mentioned something before, Benny McCarthy, and I lost my train of thought. See, if we bring in a Hojlund, Benny McCarthy will develop in 100%. 100%. He's been amazing. So where was I? I lost my train of thought again. Too much
about, we're talking about getting rid of the board and stuff, and Merter and.
Yeah, so it comes down to formalize a clear vision and strategy from the day one. So I think the new structure will be that you will have some form of chairman above the CEO, right? And the chairman will be the person that you see, like, goes out and speak to the public, PR relationship and stuff like that, communicating to the fans, because that's what we're missing. Like, Glazers don't talk to the fans. They don't care, right? Basically, just give us some money 3-4 times a year. That's it, right? Suck us dry. But in terms of midfielder, like, obviously, I did a video on Amrabat. I'm a big fan of Amrabat.
Oh yeah, I like him as well. 25 million. Can't say no.
Sparking. So I did a comparison, like Declan Rice, Amrabat, and Caicedo. Outputs almost similar. This guy is a tank. He's a beast. He's an engine. But people say, nah, he's not a sexy name. At the end of the day, like, what I'm trying to say, not everyone has to be a sexy name, right?
100%. Yeah.
What matters is what you do on the pitch.
If you look at the top 10 most expensive transfers in history, about 7 of them are flops. It's not the best transfers are the people you buy that have had a really good season in Serie A or Ligue 1 or La Liga, and they're a good player and they're going into their prime years, and then they come to the Premier League to have that first real big move in their career, playing for a big club for the first time, and then under a good manager, under a good strategy, under a good system. And I always feel like those are the best signings, like Rodri to Man City, De Bruyne to Man City, Wolfsburg, players that aren't 100 million. It's semi-expensive, normally around the 50 million mark, or sometimes you get a 30 million deal, but it's a good player in a league where they're not asking crazy prices, like Leitcher, for example. I think he was 45, 50 million. He was a good player in the Eredivisie, but he's going to the big league for the first time. He's got to prove himself. He's going to a big club for the first time. I always think those are the ideal signings.
Yeah, and that's why I'm looking at, Atlanta. You're taking the piss, right? Hojlund, are you taking the piss? So I think United's going to win big on this one. You say, okay, here's 35, 40 million, take it or leave it. Because at the end of the day, we bought Ahmad from Atlanta as well for 35 million, That's a talent. That was sort of the generational talent. So he's coming back challenging. He's not going back to Sunderland. He's going to go challenge. I want to be in this squad. I want to see what Amad Diallo is all about at the end of the day. Like, it's a good headache to have. Like, we have Pelistri, we had Ahmad, we have 100 Garnacho, we have Kobe Mainu. Anthony Santos better be aware. I don't know what's going to happen with the broken Sancho. Will it stay? Will it go? I don't know. Like, how long is a piece of string, right? But Alien Tenno is saying here, thank you for your super chat again, Alien. You've been amazing. You've been a legend here, guys. I'm surprised that no creators talk about Xavi Simons. Do you know much about Xavi Simons?
So he went to PSV, very good in the Eredivisie. Was he top scorer? I'm not sure. One up there. He had a few links to Arsenal. A couple Arsenal creators were talking about him. Hasn't really been linked with United. Considering he's in the Eredivisie, I'm surprised he wasn't linked to United, because anyone who plays in the Eredivisie or played under Ten Hag seems to be linked to United. I know that PSG had a buyback clause and they wanted to buy him back, but it's up to the player. So it's very much one of those where PSG could get him for, I don't know what the buyback clause was, but it was pretty cheap, like 8 million to bring him back. But obviously Arsenal would have to pay like 30 million to get him. But we've
I
just
love
not been
this.
linked to him.
Not true. I love this comment from SPK. When United plays, it makes front page. When United sign players and make headlines, when City play, it makes the back page. True, it's a club with no fans, to be honest. We call it empty head. And when they won the treble, I don't care. 20,000 people came to celebrate. When Manchester United won the treble last time, how many people? 500,000 people.
Yeah, Man City's treble just. I said this. I said it just doesn't feel like they've won the treble. Like, if Arsenal had won the league, I feel like I'd have felt more than if City had won the treble. Like when Arsenal win a trophy, when United win a trophy, when Liverpool win a trophy, I feel it. When City win a trophy, it feels so artificial.
It's feel even. I've been trying to say to Jarvis, who's in the chief moderator right now. He's off to US tomorrow. He's going to Washington with his family. I was saying to him, like, he's Norwegian, by the way, so he's a big fan of Haaland. We talk about Haaland, but I said to Jarvis to say, look, it doesn't feel real that Haaland scored 40 goals, 30 goals. I don't feel it, right? It's just so plastic. It's just fake. Like, pinch me. Nah, I don't feel it. It does. It's fake. When they played the Champions League, they got lucky, right? Onana was immense. There was one shot on target. There was nothing he can do about it, right? But other than that, they were dominating, right? You heard the crowd. Majority was Inter Milan fans. The rest was tourists buying the jerseys outside the stadium in Istanbul, right? Smash the like, people. Show your support. There's 300 of you in the chat line right now. We are on the road to 15K. We are 200 souls away. So please, if you haven't subscribed yet, please make my day, because on the 14th of this month, this channel will be 1 year old. So give me that birthday present, please, Santa. Please, please, Superman, where are you? Don't give me kryptonite. Thank you for the energy, people. You're my therapy. Now, okay, Mbappe. 𝒂𝒊𝒄𝒌. Listen, when I go to a Starbucks, I always have a double espresso or, frappe, but I call him 𝒂𝒊𝒄𝒌, right? Imagine him, Marcus Rashford, that's like a double espresso freight train running down the wing. Oh. But apparently, Nasser Al-Khelaifi told him yesterday, apparently, if you don't sign a new contract, F off. That's it. You got 2 weeks to decide, right? Luis Enrique came in as well. Is that sort of kind of indication to say, will he sign a new contract? I don't think so. I mean, if you see, can Real Madrid afford him? Nah, I don't know. PSG just...
Real Madrid have to sell and they'd have to sell 𝒂𝒏, Camavinga, someone like that if they wanted him.
True. That's why there's no smoke without fire when they say 𝒂𝒏, and we were linked to 𝒂𝒏 as one of our options. I mean, United has a good track history of making business with Real Madrid. I mean, yeah. So dealing with Barcelona, forget about it. They're crooks. There's another Frankie de Jong 2.0 coming up, apparently. They're going to force him out. I don't want to get into that mist of jazz. Whatever happens to Frankie, I'm happy for him. Get out, play good football, right? Because obviously they're recruited in now.
Just don't go to City, Frankie. That's all I'm saying.
Don't go to City. It doesn't mean nothing. Come home to Papa Eric. Come to Papa. Papa Eric. You know what I mean? We might be in for a surprise this window if the Qataris comes in. We don't know, because it's kind of a little bit of a... I don't believe really what media say, because they don't have any Scooby-Doo. I know for a fact that the Manchester United, from Erik ten Hag, everything is kind of sealed door. Nothing leaks out. So it's just a guessing game. The clear and obvious has been okay, Hojlund, fine. Onana, fine. Midfielders, a little bit... I don't know. Who are in for the midfield? Do you think it's going to be a 𝒂𝒏, or do you think it's going to be a Amrabat and two midfielders? Let's say 2 more midfielders.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very happy with Amrabat, but if we're comparing 𝒂𝒏 and Amrabat, I'm not saying no to 𝒂𝒏. He will be a lot more money. If the money's there, we could maybe do a shock move. I was a big fan of Camavinga as well, but it seems to be 𝒂𝒏 that would be the one that would be moved out. I'm all behind 𝒂𝒏 to United, but realistically, I don't believe the whole FFP this, FFP that. If we can get
I
our
don't believe it.
sales right, if Qatar get rid of the debt, I think we'd still have a bit more money as well. I think our budget would be at 60 million more apparently.
There is money.
I'd go for Tchouaméni if the money's there. But I'd be happy with Amrabat, but because I just think
the money is there. The money is there, and the planning is there, as far as I understand. And it's just the execution. And I'm just saying to people, like, don't panic yet. The window has just been open, what, a couple of days. You know, the typical default, Alice, I don't know if you agree with me, but as a United fan, the typical default button is to hit the panic button, right? Yeah. Look at Arsenal, sorry, blah, 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 we haven't done any fucking shit.
That's me. Because every summer I know we'll do our business really late, but then it's all these players. I was like, I really want Caicedo, Chelsea in for him. I really want Jurriën Timber, Arsenal in for him. I really like this player. Like Barella was linked to Newcastle at one point. Kim Min-jae goes to Bayern. And I start listing like 10 of the players, my top 10 players for like each position, and then 6 of them for each position are going to this club and this club and this club. And I always get this thing like, no one's going to be left. I like Mason Mount. I have no issue with us signing him, but he can't be our problem signing. And then you get a few weeks later, Onana's going to be done. Hojlund could be done soon. Mount's done. If those 3 are there on the tour, Hojlund, Mount, and Onana, I've just gone and ranted for about 2 weeks and they've gone and done it.
Logically speaking, when you think about it, it's quite funny, isn't it? Like, you know, we are not the sporting directors. We're not the recruitment directors of Manchester United. We're just consumers of the game. We're not the P&L holders, profit and loss holders, or accountants. You know what I mean? But still, we get so involved in how much money, how much this. We shouldn't really care. Like, just get us the player, right? So what I'm saying, let's just chill, people. Let's chill, relax. Ten Hag has a plan. You know, you got Matt Hargreaves negotiating. They have a plan. We are not the ones picking the players. We can just say,
have to wait it out. But it's so easy to react when you see Timber going to Arsenal and Kim Min-jae going to Napoli. It's like, if the rivals aren't doing anything, I'm patient. But as soon as a player I think will be perfect United that we've been linked to, I find out is going to Arsenal or to City, this is when I'm like, no, because everyone strengthens. And I think it's so important to get people in early and get them in for the pre-season. And I don't want to see United in a panic buy situation, because my biggest issue with United is when you leave business right to the end of the window, which we do, clubs will rise the price because it will be harder for them to find a replacement, like Anthony, like Martinez. They don't get pre-season to kind of settle in. And then it's just a situation of there's less players available. So your first choice, because you've taken your time, could be gone. And that's what frustrates me.
I got a very interesting question from Nick Nasher. Actually, he's saying the reason we hit panic button is because we're scared that our targets will get snapped up by our rivals and we lose out. The thing is, who creates those targets? Is it media? We don't know who the targets is. And that's the thing, right? We hear reports that we're not in for it. The oldest trick as an intermediate in the market that I'm saying, like, you know, what you can use is to use media as a tool to say that, you know, to increase the value for your player, to link them to different clubs.
That's what we do a lot.
That's what we do a lot. And that's what agents do. Because remember, agents don't only operate in the transfer market. They are doing the 360 degrees, like they take care of their bills. They are marriage counselors. When the girlfriend calls, they have a problem, but they also handle the media rights and the PR. Honest to God, they do that. So they create these spin stories. You know, I give you a lead, but you know, I scratch my back, I scratch your back, you scratch my back. So basically, the journalist gets the scoop, they gets the click, and you as an agent get, like, you know, publications for your player. And then you're creating this bidding war all of a sudden. It's similar like what you're seeing in this takeover news. And funny what I noticed now, Alice, I don't know if you noticed that the journals are now changing. Instead of they're putting in bids for players, it's like it's like going over from the takeovers to putting bids in. Before it was like, you know, an offer's gone in, or
I think we use the media a lot as a distraction, because whenever we have a big loss, the next day, Man United are interested in signing Bellingham. It's always a story, and I always talk about that on my channel because it's so frustrating, because I'll do a video and I'll be like, Amrabat terms agreed, and I'll say, well, this report is saying Amrabat's agreed terms. Someone will look at the title and they'll go, you told me Amrabat's terms agreed, but I'll be like, this report said Amrabat's agreed terms to join United, but if you actually read the report, they're saying we're offering him 10 million a year. I'm saying, I don't know the source, I don't know what's good, but if a report is saying Amrabat's agreed to join United for 10 million a year, you know that is agent talk as soon as they put a price in, because he's trying to get Amrabat a big new wage. And like I always say that in my videos. And then I say, you know, the Caicedo stuff, I said, I really want us to be in for Caicedo, but let's be honest, it's a game, because it's the same journalist, the United brief journalist putting out. It's not Fabrizio Romano. Fabrizio Romano's going, United have always admired Caicedo, but they're still in for Mount. But all the United brief journalists are like,
God.
they're not
Speaking
in for Mount.
Speaking about last year, the leak gossip journalists, we know who they are. I'm not going to mention the names, but it was pure Vanity Fair gossip. It was like Hollywood Insider, you know. Harry Maguire doesn't like Sancho because Sancho has a bigger ding dong than Harry, and everyone is jealous and all that. Like, what the hell, man?
You don't know if they make it up or not, because it's like, how can you think to make something like that up? But why is this a story?
Yeah, you're coming into the press conference, Karen lets you in, and all you do is asking bullshit questions instead of asking about the team. Then, oh, what's wrong with the what's going on here, huh? And what's going on with the league? So Ronaldo, what's Ronaldo? Like, I know you're acting like a vouchers, like, you know, like gossip, like a paparazzi. It's like, oh, where's journalism gone?
I hate the gossip, and I'm glad that this season I've not had to be reporting dressing. I hated doing these videos that are 10 minutes long, like the dressing room leaks and this coming out and that coming out. And 17 players will leave. It's so nice that actually, I don't think I've had to do a video since probably August talking about any kind of dressing room leaks, other than the Ronaldo interview, which was just a bit of a shit show. But other than that, it's actually been quite nice this year. I think tenhag's really stamping down on those leaks. Instead, it's just the media just lying and saying, like, I don't believe you're in for this Feyenoord goalkeeper. I said in my live stream, I said, the fact we're linked to this Feyenoord keeper and that we're saying in these stories, United look to pursue him because he's cheaper than Onana in these headlines, I say to you, Onana's getting done. Because I think sometimes, when this happens, when we put in a bid for Onana and we're going to put in a second bid, but between the first and second bid, we're saying we're going for this keeper because it's cheaper, it means the deal's going to get done. They did it with Dembele when we were going to sign Sancho, because Barca used to be desperate to get rid of Dembele. I say, we almost do it so much that I know now when we are using PR and other players. And unfortunately, the Man United use the media to distract people, spin stories, and as you said, negotiation tactic.
I got 2 points that I want to mention before we move on as well. So people in the VR keep going, smash that like button. If you haven't subscribed again, big up for Alan's great insights as well. Happy. But in terms of, you know, the personal terms, I want to educate you a little bit, everyone that's watching as well. Personal terms, you can do analogy. It is like me as a recruiter calling up Alice to say, hey, I'm interested, you know, no, me as an agent, you know what I mean? Me calling up, like, you know, you have an interview for, it's kind of like a screening call to say, are you interested to work for us? Like, as a headhunter, I'm calling up, yeah, consider. What's your salary range? 9 million a month. That's too much. I don't know. Would you be interested to come? Okay, that is the first screening call. And that's where you say personal terms, not a problem, right? Once you get the green light. So basically, I could have called up another agent candidate as well to say, okay, you can agree multiple personal terms. But once you get to that interest and you start negotiating with the clubs, that's when it gets serious. Because you would never go and put a bid in or whatever you say, an offer in, without even having a clearance from the agent and the player, right? That's one thing. Just be clear, right? In terms of the market itself, it is like a jigsaw puzzle. It's so fluid. Yeah. And that's why you say this is the most craziest market you can ever been in, because from one day you're looking up in the sky, it could be blue skies as an agent, right? You think you got all covered. You turn around, you get hijacked, you get backstabbed, right? It's such a silly season, intense season. And the thing is, what I wanted to say with this one is deals are so interlinked with each other. Like, for instance, you take this Declan Rice deal, 105 million. They're going to take this 105 million and they're going to buy other players. And there's even reports coming out to say that, you know, David Moyes is interested to take Harry Maguire on for that 105 million invest. Brilliant. You can buy Rice, utilize that 105 million, get Harry Kane out. Listen, I got a super chat for one of my colleague that's leaving to US. 100 kroners. Hey Varum family, you're all amazing. Shout out to Alice for joining us, and some love. Smash the like for the maestro Mick Ruby. Don't keep rocking. Keep rocking. You guys are the real stars here. Jarvis, thank you. humbly thank you. I wish you and your family a safe travels to US tomorrow. You're waking up early, you told me, but please, as agreed, you're going to do roadshow movies. Like, you know, it's going to be a roadshow. Thelma and Louise style, like Tarantino style. Hey, big up. Thank you. In terms of what are we going to talk about now? Frankie de Jong, do you think something will brew there?
I wish, but
Do we want it? Do we want that another PTSD story?
This is my thing. If I'm United, I say to de Jong, if you want to, if you know, Barcelona might force you out. If I'm United, I say to de Jong, we're not going to make any effort to pursue you. But if you decide you want to come to United, you know who to call. You call Ten Hag, we'll get the deal done. But we're not going to focus on you. We're just going to do everything else, do our stuff, and you have to call us and say, I want, because you know what we'll do. That's with me. So then we have to avoid that whole saga because he doesn't want to leave Barcelona. He's obsessed with Barcelona. Barcelona don't treat him well. And you know what?
Oh no, Xavi doesn't even play him, doesn't even like him, doesn't rate him.
He'd be perfect for Ten Hag, but you know, we're Man United, we're not gonna wait for you.
Listen, I have a sneaky feeling, Alice. I am Mr. Positive this season. I promised myself last season we all felt shit as fans. Like, you know, come April, May, everyone was down tooling. Bob the Builder packed up all his tools. They went to Caribbean, everywhere went. It was just a shit show, right? Then Ten Hag came in. And this season, it's been positive for the first time. And with this takeover, it has kind of united the fan base closer, right?
The one thing we will agree on is getting the Glazers out. Because we're very divisive, but getting the Glazers out, there's not a Man United fan that would disagree with that.
Yeah. And nobody wants Ratcliffe anymore because it's all debt and everything. The thing is, red flags, red herrings, red flags. At the end of the day, if you compare the manifestos, one was like totally complete, compelling to what the fans want. Totally, 100% buyout, invest in Carrington, invest in the women's team, make United great again. The use of Sir Jim Ratcliffe's putting Manchester back into the community. What do you mean?
I don't know.
So I was wondering, like, why are you pushing? Like, you know, so according to my opinion, he's been delaying the process a lot, like, because they constructed the deals like on different variables, like, you know, offering Joel and Avram to stay. Now that didn't work, and then was like a challenge from the minority shareholders. We will sue you. It's been just dragging on.
I'm worried that could be what's delaying it deep down. The fact that they want Sir Jim and that it's more difficult. But then I'm like, why would they be getting Qatar to sign all these documents? Why would Reuters be saying this? Because I do trust Reuters. They didn't say Qatar were exclusive. They said Qatar were negotiating exclusivity.
Something's going to happen in a couple of days. Something's going to happen. I feel it. It's going to erupt.
I think the fact that it's gone so quiet almost for 2 weeks, other than Rio doing a bit of this and that, I mean, the fact that it's been so quiet almost says to me we have to be in the final stages. So we have to be days away. Hopefully we find out soon.
We are. That's all I can say. We are.
Fingers crossed.
Without disclosing NDAs. But we can sign an NDA later and I can tell you, right? Okay. Onana, what's my name? Onana, yeah. That's my game. That's
going to be the new chant next season.
Yeah, I made it up together with Andy Tate, to be honest. It was me.
Oh, nah. I keep saying it as well.
That's my name. That's my name. What a save. What a save. Oh, Nana. What a save. Oh, Nana. Yeah, that's my game. That's my name. And then you go like this. Yeah. It's going to be wicked. I know you probably wanted another goalkeeper. I think I watched one of your videos. Yeah, I think your preferred preference was it Ramos, wasn't it? No.
Ramos?
No, that was not Ramos.
Costa.
What's his name?
Costa. I said Costa that Papi. I was happy with Onana or Diogo Costa. I was like, I'm happy with either. I think Costa could be the better goalkeeper in years to come. But then when I watched Onana in that Champions League final, I was like, you know what? Biggest game. Costa was a bit iffy in the World Cup. I'm happy with either. Whoever Ten Hag wants, that was my decision in the end.
100%. No, I think Onana is a game changer. If you look at, we're getting... If you talk about who you think will be the next signing, you reckon 100% is going to be Onana. That's the closest one, right?
I think that'll be next few. I think we'll get Here We Go in the next week.
Yeah, David De Gea is not coming back. He's gone. His head is gone. I don't think so, because I covered, at the end of the day, like, credible sources told me basically that his heart was not in it, because he wanted to be close to his family. He's got a newborn baby and everything. He wanted to walk away for free to choose the club to play in Spain, possibly. Now you're seeing like, will he go to Inter for free? Like, we're taking Onana, maybe he will play in Inter. Who knows? Saudi came in with big money. We haven't heard anything from that as of yet. So anyway, big servant of the club, but don't forget the broken fax machine 2015. That's what I'm saying as well. I have only good things to say about De Gea. We salute you. It's been this great servant of the club, like, but at the end of the day, the game changed, right? As a club, we have to move on, new dawn, new pages. So that's why I'm so excited to see this transfer window. It's key. It is really key, because we haven't really seen, Alice, what Ten Hag football is all about. We just scratched the surface, but now he's
100%.
recruiting. I mean, if you've seen the fire sale, this will never happen under the Glazers' watch. So this is kind of an indication that they would never allow 13 players to be on the list to be sold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you have a lot of players on the fire list. Is it going to be difficult to sell them? Will we cut the losses?
Martial will be difficult, I think, with the injuries and the wages. But some, I think, we can.
At the end of the day, this was Ed Woodward signings. Yeah, this is the Glazers signings, basically. So the new owners coming in, we don't give a shit, because we're buying the club 100% anyway. This is not our money, right?
Yeah.
Of course, the players are part of the overall valuation. But if you just get rid of them, like get rid of that wage bill, that's what FFP is most about, not about the purchase price, because the purchase price you can split down in like installments in 5 years, similar to what you've seen the Shark did it at Chelsea, did the crazy 7-8 years contract, like with Mudryk and all them, like, 100 million, okay, no problem, I split it up in 8. Then his fingers got caught in the cookie jar. Oh, you know what I mean? So I don't know, De Jong, if money is there, as I spoke to Graham Bailey as well, he said it over a month ago. If money is there, he will. Ten Hag will go for De Jong.
Yeah,
he said it,
100%.
and he's got.
He's
He's a person that with the ears on the ground. Graham Bailey, the 90 Minutes journalist as well. So he said early stages that Harry Kane will not leave. He will not come to Manchester United. Daniel Levy rather sell him to Bayern Munich or Real Madrid. But Daniel Levy refused to sell. He hates the idea of to sell to any Premier League club. What's the point, Harry? I mean, if you look at it, Alice, you are shit anyway, Spurs. You're not going to do anything. You're not going to even challenge top 4 this season. Like, you got this, what's his name? Imposter Coglio, or what was his name? Imposter Coglio.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, guys. Alice, any further thoughts about any other further signings that you would like to see? Like,
I think for me, it's just get Hojlund, Onana, and Mount over the line. That's what Ten Hag clearly wants.
That's
and then we see clear plan, and then see what the budget has remaining. Do we have the money for De Jong? Could Tchouaméni be available? If not, I think Amrabat is the budget option, and then I would say Harry Kane, if he doesn't leave Spurs and he doesn't sign a new contract, he could be dirt cheap in January. By January, I'd expect new owners. I'd be very shocked if we don't. That could be something. That could be something to do in January, maybe. And then potentially a centre back if the funds was there. But I think that depends on Maguire, really.
True that. I mean, if Harry Kane chooses not to sign a contract, like, he will definitely walk away from free. But if you're Daniel Levy, who you probably like to stitch him up for another 6-year contract, and then I would say, like, is that showing no ambition if you're staying at Spurs?
I think he's got a chance now. He's in the last year of his contract. You might as well run it down because you've got all the options. You might as well. Like, I know Spurs manager might come in and you might like him, but you've not won a trophy. You'll get into the final years of your career. 𝒊𝒄𝒌 just won a trophy. And he was up with us for 6 months as a striker. So they're not come to United.
Premier. I mean, Jesus Christ. You think Harry Kane? Okay, Spurs not playing Champions League. United is playing Champions League. Bayern Munich is in Champions League. Doesn't that play a big difference where you want to play this season?
Yeah.
And I want to finish up with Philip, one of, man, 1958 and United against the Glazers. Philip, how you doing, man? The biggest signing is Glazers out. 100%, mate. I couldn't agree more. That is the biggest signing that we can do. I actually out, not the signing, but out. Alice, thank you so much. It's been so great conversations. We overpassed the time with 1 hour and 15 minutes. Guys, if you do have any further questions, please feel free. I think Alice is very tight. I am too. It's been a long day. What do we expect of this season, Alice? If we get things right, maybe it's too early to ask, but where do you see us finish next season if we get all the signings right?
It's too early because I don't know what the rivals are going to do, and I don't know what we're going to do. I think Liverpool will be back next season, unfortunately. City, and I think Arsenal are doing some good business. I don't get the Havertz signing, but I do think Rice and Timber will want to take Arsenal to another level. Right now, I'm saying fourth, but we'll have to see, because I do think, I said this, Hojlund and Onna and Mount, they all take us up another level, 100%, all good signings. But I think there's a fourth surprise signing in there. We always say we have less budget than we do. I've been saying this for a month. I think there's another midfield signing in there.
There is.
And
just always say, always go back in time. It's the same wash, rinse, repeat
Anthony
media story.
Casemiro.
No, but seriously, Alice, look, every year the media is reporting we got 100 million, 120 million. Last year we spent 250. That's the thing. But guys, before we go, Alice, I just want to remind you of something, right? I'm most excited about this. Hang on a second.
Where's the next year? Istanbul or where? Chelsea fan. Yeah. Book the hotel. Put it in the diary, yeah.
Book the hotel. No, they didn't book the hotel, but we are playing Champions League. It's going to be Tuesday nights, Alice. How excited are you? No more Thursday nights. I'm
so excited. Liverpool in the Europa, United in the Champions League, and hopefully we go further than a round of 16.
Hopefully. Guys, it's been smashing. Thank you, Alice. It's been a pleasure having you. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Thank you for having me.
Guys, this has been Mick Ruby. This has been Alice Abrams. Please go over to her channel, watch, subscribe, like her content. She's the hardest working content creator that I've been seeing for the past couple of years, at least, since I've been watching as well. But you know what? We're here together as a community. We're living next door to each other. And good to see you. Good to be friends with you as well. So guys, have a good evening. Where I would say peace, love, bananas. And we had our say. Now we're giving back your day. Thank you, guys. Bye for now. Bye, Alice. Thank you so much. Bye. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.